Hey everyone, it's time for some demos with balls. Sometimes the formula is simple. These things throw projectiles at you. They explode and do damage. Damage means boosts, and boosts mean shortcuts. In this video, I'll take a look at the creative ways players have used voreballs in Quake Speedruns. From tiny skips to huge time saves, with some silly party tricks thrown in for good measure. I hope you like it. First, let's get some quick terminology out of the way. Is this thing called a vor or a shallrath? And are the projectiles they launch towards you called balls, pods, or orbs? I've seen all of these terms thrown around in various wikis, the source code, and map editors. For consistency, I'm sticking with vors and vorballs. Vorball boosts are actually very rare in the original id maps. The first vor in the game doesn't even appear until the end of E2M6, and it's fitting that this enemy is immediately used to boost straight to the map's exit. I've covered E2M6 in a previous video, but players have been perfecting this deceptively simple vorball boost for decades, culminating in Joe's impossibly fast double boost in his current nightmare skill record. By far the coolest use of vorballs on the original maps comes from Peter Horvath in his earth-shattering Nightmare 100% run of E4M2 back in 2000. Again, I've dedicated an entire video to this run and Moody's quest to eventually improve it by a single second after 22 years. But just to recap, first Peter did a double vorball plus slope plus ogre grenade jump up to this ledge. Then at the end of the demo, he did a blind double vorball jump after using his last nails to kill the final vor after it fired its projectiles. After 24 years, both of these tricks are just as insane as they ever were. Vorball boosts might be a rare trick on id maps, but as we know, Quake has thousands of custom maps, and that's where players have really gotten creative. There are lots of examples out there of using a single vorball to boost to a just out of reach area. But in this video, I really wanted to showcase some of the more wild and unique vorball tricks runners have discovered. Because the projectiles mostly trail behind the players, I've recammed a lot of these runs so we can see what's going on outside of the first-person view. On the second map of the fantastic Terror episode by CZG, you can just barely alert this vor hidden in a small nook in the roof near the starting area. Jacko builds up a group of 4 balls and runs ahead to clear a path while the balls slowly close in behind him. He then takes advantage of this open roof to spring out of bounds with a quadruple boost, heading straight to the exit and skipping most of the map. On this map, Stu1 leads 3 balls a long way through an open area, some hallways, and a closed door before blindly jumping and being boosted up to a button which opens the final area. This demo also has a rare example of a rocket boost from an enemy, namely this custom enforcer. On this map, David Suarez came up with an awesome strategy getting 2 separate multiple ball boosts from the same pair of enemies. First he jumps up to this button with the double boost. The vors continue to shoot additional balls, and David then lures these through the map past a swarm of enemies and up against this wall, where he gets a second gigantic boost from 4 balls. Here, it's a similar concept. First you do a quadruple boost up to the key. The vors continue firing, and the remaining balls follow you while you slope jump over this gate, then wait at the exit. The exit requires 2 separate keys, one for the spikes at the front, then for the door itself. If the balls make it through this narrow gap, then you can do an additional double boost to open the door at the back. The problem is that you can't hit the front spikes on your way up, or else your single key will be wasted. so the jump has to be very precise. Sometimes all you need is a tiny helping hand. Here, this gap can actually be cleared with a good bunny hop, but there isn't enough space to build up the necessary speed. A mid-air vorball boost at the player's feet does the trick instead. On the second map of the Runner's Delight episode, Brainfluid does a huge skip with multiple balls. After tearing through the map with his trademark bunnies, he gets a massive boost across this gap and keeps the speed all the way to the exit with a long series of bunny hops. I love this demo because it's one of the only examples of maintaining a large amount of horizontal speed from a vorball boost. On this map, we have a quintuple ball boost, luring the balls down to the lower level before boosting back up to the button and keeping some of the speed. While I was collecting and watching these demos, I watched this run back to back with Brainfluids, and I realized you can just boost horizontally across from the top level here as well. This would save several seconds if anyone wants to beat a 19-year-old record. Boosts aren't the only thing speedrunners can do with vorballs. Zombies require explosives or quad damage weapons to kill, but it turns out that a vorball will also do just enough damage to kill a zombie in its path. On E2M6, speedrunners initially couldn't kill all of the map's zombies during an individual level run because there are no explosive weapons, and the zombies were too far apart to reach with the single available quad damage. Eventually, players found a way to lure multiple vorballs into the zombies while simultaneously taking out the vors with the shotgun. On easy skill, this strategy became obsolete just a few months ago when Chambers realized that with some route tweaks, he was able to reach the final zombies with quad damage after all, taking out the last enemy just before the power-up expired. A similar strategy was used by Marcus on this custom map, where killing a particular zombie opens the exit. Marcus skips the long route to the grenade launcher and instead lures a vorball all the way from the beginning of the map through super narrow corridors and into the final zombie. This is currently the second oldest demo on the entire SDA tables, recorded all the way back in 1999. Maybe there's an additional second to be saved here after 25 years. Anyway, that's enough of all this tricky strategic stuff. We know why we're here, and that's to see some gigantic vorball boosts. It's become a fun challenge to stack as many vorballs as possible in a real record. This very old custom map was made specifically to encourage some big boosts. Last year I recorded a demo on this gorgeous map by Tronin, using what I believe is the biggest boost ever recorded in a real record. The map's exit is even higher up than the area I boost to, but unfortunately we don't have the health to stack more than 8 balls. What happens if we forget about health and just have some fun with God mode and unlimited vorballs? On this same map, you can do some pretty stylish stuff. How about this boost? Or this one, shooting all the way across the map and sliding up the wall to the exit. Or here we can jump directly from the start area to the exit on one of Marzu's typically huge maps. I thought that this absolutely gigantic map by Radiator Yang would be the ideal place to showcase the world's highest voreball boost. But while doing some attempts, I found out that it uses the Copper gameplay mod. In Copper, voreballs will start exploding on their own after a certain amount of time. I was hoping to boost from the ground to the very top of the tree, but this 20 ball boost was the best I could manage. But let's take this idea to its only logical conclusion. We make a custom map as tall as the Quake engine will allow, put a bunch of vors and a pentagram at the bottom, and an exit trigger at the top. If we have infinite vorballs, can we reach the exit? Turns out the answer is not quite. The player's speed does have a cap in the Quake engine, and no amount of additional balls would change that. We can't get all the way to the top in a single boost, but it turns out that with a little luck, you can bounce off several groups of balls, getting progressively higher each time. Even then, it still wasn't quite enough to make it to the engine's maximum height, so Chuma was kind enough to add a ledge with a rocket launcher to boost up the remaining distance. Next up, we tried the horizontal version. If you reach top speed, can you clear the biggest lava pit ever created? This one turns out to be easy, so let's try a couple of extra challenges. First, we use an updated modern engine to greatly extend the maximum distance. Or on this additional map created by Brainfluid, we stick to the original engine size limits but place the exit much higher, meaning we need to hit the exit at the apex of our boost. Does anyone think they can beat 12 seconds? Or what about a 100% run on this map? You'd need to let all of the vors kill each other, then grab the pentagram and do the ball boost after the final enemy dies. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll leave you with some of my favourite slow motion recams. Also, I know that none of you have gotten this far into the video without smirking at how often I've said the word balls. So it's time to get it out of your system now. Any Quake-themed dad jokes or puns, feel free to put them in the comments. The dumber the better. Thanks for listening, and see you later.